Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Joshua 17 to 23, Proverbs 15, and Psalm 142. Let's get started. Then a law was made to the people of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Jews, to Machir, the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, were allotted Gilead and Bashan. Yes, he was a man of war. And Lot's wives were made to the rest of the people of Manasseh by the clans of Bezer, Halak, Azriel, Shechem, Hefer, and Shemida. These were the male descendants of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, by their clans. Now Zelophehad had the son of Hefer, son of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, had no sons, but only daughters, and these are the names of his daughters, Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They approached also the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, and the leaders, and said, The Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance along with our brothers. So, according to the mouth of the Lord, he gave them an inheritance along with them of their father. Thus there fell to Manasseh 10 portions, besides the land of Gilead and Bashan, which is on the other side of the Jordan, because the daughters of Manasseh received inheritance along with his sons. The land of Gilead was allotted to the rest of the people of Manasseh. The territory of Manasseh ranged from Asher to Michmetha, which is east of Shechem, and then the boundary goes along southward to the inhabitants of En Tappuah. The land of Tappuah belonged to Manasseh. But the town of Tappuah on the boundary of Manasseh belonged to the people of Ephraim. And the boundary went down to the brook Canaan. The cities to the south of the brook along the cities of Manasseh belonged to Ephraim. And then the boundary of Manasseh goes on the north side of the brook and ends at the sea. Then the land to the south being Ephraim, and that to the north being Manasseh, with the sea forming this boundary. On the north, Asher is reached, and on the east, Isaac, Osan, Isaac, and Asher. Manasseh had Bethshean and its villages, and Emblem and its villages, and the inhabitants of Dor and its villages, and the inhabitants of Endor and its villages, and the inhabitants of Tanak and its villages, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and its villages. The third is Naphath, and the people of Manasseh could not take possession of those. The Canaanites tried to assist in dwelling in that one. Now when the people of Israel grew strongly, the Canaanites took forced labor, but did not utterly drive them out. And the people of Joseph spake to Joshua, saying, I have you given me but one portion as an inheritance, although I am a numerous people, since all along the Lord has blessed me. And the Lord said to me, If you are numerous people, go out by yourselves to the forest, and there clear ground by yourselves in the paradise of Ephraim, since the hill country of Ephraim is too narrow for you. The people of Joseph said, The hill country is not enough for us, yet all the Canaanites who dwell in the plain have chariots of iron, both those in Bethshean and its villages, and those in the valley of Jezreel. And Joshua said to the house of Joseph, to Ephraim and Manasseh, You are numerous people and have great power. You shall not have one allotment only, but the hill country shall be yours. Although it is a forest, you shall clear and possess it to its father's borders, and you shall drive out the Canaanites, though they have chariots of iron, and though they are strong. And the whole congregation of the people of Israel assembled at Shiloh and set up the tent meeting there. The land lay subdued before them. There remained among the people of Israel 7 tribes whose inheritance had not yet been apportioned. Joshua said to the people of Israel, How long will you put off going in to take possession of the land, which the Lord, the God of your fathers, has given you? Provide 3 men from each tribe, and send them out, that they may set out and go up and down the line. You shall write a description of it with a view to their inheritances, and then come to me. They shall divide it into 7 portions. Judah shall continue his territory on the south, and the house of Joseph shall continue in their territory on the north. And you shall describe the land in 7 divisions, and bring the description here to me, and I'll cast lots for you here before the Lord our God. And the Levites have no portion among you, for the priesthood of the Lord is their heritage. And Gad and Reuben and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan eastward, which Moses the servant of the Lord gave them. And the men arose on the land, and Joshua charged those who went to write the description of the land, saying, Go up and down the land and write the description and return to me, and I'll cast lots for you here before the Lord in Shiloh. So the men went and passed up and down in the land and wrote in a book a description of it by towns in seven divisions. And they came to Joshua and to the camp at Shiloh, and Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord. And there Joshua apportioned the land to the people of Israel, to each his portion. The law for the tribe of the people of Benjamin according to its clans came, and the territory allotted to it fell between the people of Judah and the people of Joseph. On the north side, their boundary began at the Jordan, and the boundary goes up to the shoulder north of Jericho, then up to the hill country, the westward, and ends at the wilderness of Bethlehem. And there's a boundary crosses along south, in the direction of Luz, to the shoulder of Luz. And the boundary goes down to Ataroth Adar, and the mountain that lies south of Lower Bethhorn. And the boundary goes in another direction, turning on the west side south, and the mountain that lies to the south, opposite Bethhorn, and it ends at Kirith Baal. And The city belonged to the people of Judah. It forms the west side, and the southern side begins at the outskirts of Kiriath-Jearim, and the boundary goes down from there to Hebron, Ephraim, to the spring of the woods of Naphtali, and the boundary goes down to the border of the mountain that overlooks the valley of the son of Hinnom, and south of the shoulder of the Jebusites and downward to En-Rogel, and it bends in a northerly direction, going on to En-Shemesh, and from there goes to Gilead, which is opposite the ascent of Adullam. Then it goes down to the stone of Bohan, son of Reuben, and passing on to the north of the shoulder of Beth Arab, it goes down to Arab, and then the boundary passes on to the north of the shoulder of Beth Hogla, and the boundary ends at the northern bay of the South Sea, and at the south end of the Jordan. This is the southern border, then Jordan forms its boundary on the eastern side. This is the inheritance of the people of Benjamin. According to their clans, round Judah, round Judah. Now these are the tribes of the people of Benjamin, according to their clans, round Judah, Beth Hogla, Emek, Keziz, Beth Arab, Zemari, Bethel, Avim, Para, Ophrah, Shephah, Ammoni, Ophni, Geba, 12 cities with their villages, Gibeon, Ramah, Beeroth, Mizpah, Shephir, Moza, Rechem, Elpil, Terala, Zelah, Haleth, Jabus, Gibeah, and Kiriath-Jearim, 14 cities with their villages. And this is the inheritance of the Hebrew of Benjamin according to its clans. The second lot came out for Simi, the tribe of the Hebrew of Simi according to their clans, and the inheritance was in the midst of the inheritance of the Hebrew of Judah. And they had for their inheritance Beersheba, Sheba, Moladah, Hezah, Shul, Bala, Ezim, Eltala, Bethel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hezah, Susa, Bethel, Baalath, and Shaul, 13 cities with their villages, Ain, Roman, Ether, and Asher, 4 cities with their villages, together with the villages around these cities as far as Baalath, Beer, Ramoth, and Neah. These were the inheritance of the tribe of the Hebrew of Simeon according to their clans. The inheritance of the Hebrew of Simeon formed part of the territory of the people of Judah. As the portion of the Hebrew of Judah was nearly 2 months for the people of Simeon obtained an inheritance in the midst of their inheritance. The third lot came up from the Hebrew of Zebulun according to their clans. The territory of their inheritance reached as far as Saran, and the boundary goes up westward and it on to Mariah and touches Dabasheth, and the brook that is east of Jokneam, and from Saran it goes in the other direction, eastward toward the sunrise, to the boundary of Chislotel. From there goes to Dabereth and up to Japhia. From there it passes along to the east toward the sunrise to Gath-Hefer, to Eth-Kazan, and going on to Rimmah it bends toward Nia. Then on the north the boundary turns about to Hanathel, and it ends at the valley of Iftahel, and Katath, Mahalal, Shimron, Idal, and Bethlehem. 12 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the Hebrews that according to their clans. These cities with their villages. And the fourth lot came out for Isaac, or the people of Isaac. And according to their clans, the territory included Jezreel, Jeshala, Shunem, Hapharaim, Shean, Ahana, Harath, Rabbith, Kishin, Ebez, Ramath, and Gadan, and Hadabeth Hazaz. The boundary as it touches Tabor, Shahazimah, and Beth-Shemesh, and its boundary ends at the Jordan. 16 cities of their village. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the Hebrew of Isaac, according to their clans, cities with their village. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of the Hebrew of Asher, according to their clans. Their territory included Helkath, Hali, Beten, Akshaph, Elimelech, Amma, and Lisha. On the west it touches Carmel, and Shihor, Libnath. It turns eastward. It goes to Beth Dagon, touches Sutton, and the valley of Iftahel, northward to Beth-Emek and Neo, and continues in the north to Kabul, and Ebron, Rehol, Hammon, Cana, as far as Seed and the Grey, and the boundary turns to Ramah, reaching to the fortified city of Tyre, and the boundary turns to Hosa, and it ends at the sea, Mahalah, Akziv, Uma, Aphek, and Rehol, 22 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the Hebrew of Asher according to their clans. These cities with their villages. The sixth lot came out for the Hebrew of Naphtali, according to their clans, and their boundary ran from House, from the oak in Zananu, and Adami, Mechem, and Jabneel, as far as Lachem, and ends at the Jordan. Then the boundary turns westward to Azimuth, Tabor, and goes from there to Harak, touching Zebulun at the south, and Asher on the west, and Judah on the east of the Jordan. And 4 or 5 cities at Siddim is Hamath, Rakath, Chinnereth, Adama, Ramah, Hazel, Kedesh, Edrei, and Hazel, Yair, Migdal, El, Horam, Beth Anath, and Beth Shemesh. 19 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the Hebrew of Naphtali, according to their clans. Cities with their villages. The seventh lot came in for the tribe of the Hebrew of Dan, according to their clan, and the territory of its inheritance includes Zor, Ishtal, Shemesh, Shalaban, Aijan, Ithla, Elon, Timnah, Ekron, Eltekeh, Gibbethon, Balath, Jehoah, Benabar, Gathrim, and Mejoka, and Rackham with the territory of against Joppa. And the territory of the people of Dan was lost too. The people of Dan went up and forth against Leshem, and after capturing it and striking it with the sword, they took possession of it, and saw and they called Leshem Dan, after the name of Dan, their ancestor. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Dan, according to their class. These cities with their villages. And when they finished distributing the several territories of the land as inheritance, the people of Israel gave an inheritance among them to Joshua the son of Nun. By command of the Lord, they gave him the city that he asked, Jamnath, Sarah, and the whole country of Ephraim. And he rebuilt the city and settled in it. These are the inheritance that Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun and the heads of the fathers' house of the tribes of the people of Israel, buried by law at Shiloh before them at the entrance of the tenement. So they finished dividing the. And the Lord said to Joshua, say to the people of Israel, appoint the Caesar of the region which I spake you by 3 months, that the manslayer who strikes in person without intent or unknowingly may flee there. They shall leave for your refuge when you avenge it. You shall flee to one of these seas and shall stand at the entrance of the gate of the sea and explain his case to the elders of that sea. And they shall take him into the city and give him a place. He shall remain with them. And if the avenger of the blood pursues him, he shall give the manslayer into his hand, because he struck his neighbor unknowingly, and did not hate him in the past. He shall remain in the city until he stood before the congregation of judges, until the death of him who was high priest at that time. And the manslayer may return to his own town, to the tent from which he fled. And they set apart Kadesh in Galilee in the hill country of Naphtali, and Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba in the hill country of Judah. And beyond the Jordan east of Jericho, he appointed Bezek in the wilderness on the table, from the tribe of Reuben, and Ramoth and Gilead, from the tribe of Gad, and Gershon and Golan and Bashan, from the tribe of Manasseh. These were the cities just familiar for all the people of Israel, and for the strangers sojourning among them, that anyone who killed a person without intent could flee it, so that they might not die by the hand of the avenger of blood, till he stood before the congregation. And the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites came to Eleazar the priest, and to Joshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers' houses of the tribe of the people of Israel. And they said to them at Shiloh and the king, the Lord commanded through Moses that we be given cities to dwell, along with their pestilence for our life. So by command the people of Israel gave to the Levites the following cities and pestilence out of their inheritance. The Lord came out for the clans of the Kohathites, and the Levites, who were descendants and the priests received by law from the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin, 13 cities. And the rest of the Kohathites received by law from the clans of the tribe of Ephraim, from the tribe of Dan, and the half tribe of Manasseh, 10 cities. And Gershonites received by law from the clans of the tribe of Isaac, the tribe of Asher, from the tribe of Naphtali, and from the half tribe of Manasseh and Bashan, 13 cities. The Merarites, according to the clans, received from the tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Gad, and the tribe of Zebulun, 12 cities. And the cities and their pestilence to the people of Israel gave by law to the Levites, as the Lord had commanded through Moses. Now the tribe of the people of Judah and the tribe of the people of Simeon, they gave the following cities mentioned by name, which went to the descendants of Aaron, one of the clans of the Kohathites, who belonged to the people of Levi. Since the Lord fell to them first, he gave them Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah, along with the pestilence around it. The fields of the city and its villages had been given to Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, as his possession. Hence the descendants of Aaron the priest gave Hebron the city of refuge for the manslayer with his pestilence, Libnah with his pestilence, Jettir with his pestilence, Ishmael with his pestilence, Holon with his pestilence, Debir with his pestilence, Aim with his pestilence, Juttah with his pestilence, Beth Shemesh with his pestilence, 9 cities with those 3 tribes. And out of the tribe of Benjamin, Gibeon with his pestilence, Geba with his pestilence, Anathoth with his pestilence, and Almon with his pestilence, 4 cities. These are the descendants of Aaron the priest, who were in all 13 cities of their pestilence. As to the rest of the Kohathites belonged to the Kohathite clan of Levi, the cities belonged to the tribe of Ephraim. To them were given Shechem, the city of refuge for the manslayer, with his pestilence in the hill country of Ephraim, Gezer with his pestilence, Gibbethon with his pestilence, Beth Horon with his pestilence, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Dan, Eltek with his pestilence, Gibbethon with his pestilence, Aijalon with his pestilence, Gathrim with his pestilence, 4 cities. And out of the half tribe of Manasseh, Tanakh with his pestilence, and Gathrim with his pestilence, 2 cities. The cities of the clans of the rest of the Kohathites were 10 all with their pestilence. And to the Gershonites, along with one of the clans of the Levites, were given out of the half tribe of Manasseh, Golan and Bashan with his pestilence, city of refuge of the manslayer, and Beesh Terah with his pestilence, 2 cities. Another tribe of Isaac, Kishi with his pestilence, Deborah with his pestilence, John with his pestilence, and Ganem with his pestilence, 4 seasons. Another tribe of Asher, Elijah with his pestilence, Abdon with his pestilence, Selkaf with his pestilence, and Rahel with his pestilence, 4 seasons. Another tribe of Naphtali, Kedesh and Galilee with his pestilence, Sea refuge from the monthly, Hamath Dor in his pestilence, with his pestilence, and Kartan with his pestilence, 3 seasons. Seeds of the several clans of the Gershonites went all 13 seasons of their pestilence. And to the rest of the Levites, the Merarite class, were given over the trumpet sound. Jokneam with his pestilence, Carter with his pestilence, Dimna with his pestilence, Nehalal with his pestilence, 4 seas, and other tribe of Reuben, Bezalel with his pestilence, Jahaz with his pestilence, Kedemoth with his pestilence, and Mephath with his pestilence, 4 seas, and another tribe of Gad, Ramoth, and Gilead with his pestilence, the sea of refuge on the mantle, Mahanaim with his pestilence, Heshbon with his pestilence, Jazer with his pestilence, 4 seas in all, and as well as seas of the several Merarite clans, and as the remainder of the clans of the Levites. There was a lot to them were in all 12 seas. The seas of the Levites and the mystic possession of the mystic people of Israel were in all 48 seas with their pestilence. And they seas each had its pestilence around it, so it was with all these seas. And as the Lord gave to Israel all the land they swore to give to their fathers, and they took possession of it, and they sold it. And the Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their fathers. Not one of their enemies had withstood them, for the Lord had given all their enemies into their hands. Not one word of all the good promises that the Lord had made to the house of Israel had failed. All came to pass at the time Joshua, son of the Reubenites, and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh, who said to them, You have kept all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, and obeyed my voice and all that I have commanded you. You have not forsaken your gods these many days. Down to this day, you are being careful to keep the charge of the Lord your God. And now the Lord your God has given rest to your brothers as he promised. Therefore turn and go to your tents in the land where your possession lies, which Moses the servant of the Lord gave you on the other side of the Jordan. Only be very careful to observe the commandment of the Lord that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, to love the Lord your God, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cling to him and to serve him with all your heart, with all your soul. So Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their tents. Now to the one half of the tribe of Manasseh, Moses had given a possession in Bashan, and to the other half Joshua had given a possession beside their brothers in the land west of the Jordan. And then Joshua sent them away to their homes in Bethel. He said to them, Go back to your tent with much wealth and with very much livestock, with silver, gold, bronze, and iron, and with much clothing. Divide the spoil of your enemies with your bows. So the heap of Reuben and the heap of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh returned home. Parting from the heap of Mizar Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the land of Gilead, their own land, which they had possessed, and Solomon commanded the Lord through Moses. Then they came to the region of the Jordan that is in the land of Canaan. The people of Reuben, the heap of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh built their altar by the Jordan, an altar of imposing size, and the people of Israel stood, heard it said, Behold, the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and half-tribe of Manasseh built the altar at the frontier of the land of Canaan, in the region about the Jordan on the side that belongs to the people of Israel. And the people of Israel had the whole assembly of the people of Israel gathered at Sheol to make war against. And the people of Israel sent to the people of Reuben, and the people of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, and the land of Gilead. Albinus, the son of Elazar, the priest, and with him 10 chiefs, and one from each of the tribal families of Israel. Every one of them the head of a family among the clans of Israel. And they came to the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, in the land of Gilead, and they said to them, Thus is the whole congregation of the Lord. What is this breach of faith that you have committed against the God of Israel, turning away to stay from following the Lord by building yourselves, and also to stay in rebellion against the Lord? Have we not had enough of the sin at Peor, from which even yet we have not cleansed ourselves, from which there came a plague upon the congregation of the Lord? Now you two must turn away to stay from following the Lord. If you two rebel against the Lord today, then tomorrow he will be angry with the whole congregation of Israel. And now, if the land of your possession is unclean, pass over into the Lord of heaven, where the Lord's tabernacle stands, and take away yourselves a possession among us. Only do not rebel against the Lord, or make us rebels by building for yourselves an altar, other than the altar of the Lord our God. Do not act against the son of Sarah, break faith in the matter of the devoted thing. And wrath fell upon all the congregation of it, and he did not perish alone for his iniquity. And the heap of Reuben, the heap of Gad, the half-tribe of Manasseh, and send an answer to heads of the families of Israel. The mighty one God, the Lord, the mighty one God, the Lord. He goes, let Israel soften. If it was in rebellion or in breach of faith against the Lord, just spare us today for the building and not to turn the family away and follow the Lord. If we did so to offer them anything, burnt offerings or grain offerings or peace offerings, may the Lord himself take vengeance. No, but we did from fear that in time to come you might say to our children, What have you to do with the Lord, the God of Israel? How the Lord has made the joint boundary between us and you, you people of Reuben, people of Gad. You have no portion in the Lord. C.Jun might make our children cease to worship the Lord. Therefore we said, let us not build an altar, nor for burnt offering, nor for sacrifice. Let there be a witness between us and you, and between our generations after us, that we do perform the service between us and you. Of the Lord in his presence, without burnt offerings and sacrifices and peace offerings. C.Jun will not say to our children in time to come, you have no portion in the Lord. And then we thought, if we should be said to us and to our descendants in time to come, we should say, behold, the copy of the altar of the Lord, which your fathers made. Not for burnt offerings, not for sacrifice, but to be a witness between us and you. Far be it from us that we should rebel against the Lord, and turn away this day from following the Lord by building an altar for burnt offering, grain offering, or sacrifice, other than the altar of the Lord our God, who stands before his tabernacle. And finest the priests and the chiefs of the congregation, the heads of the families, the widow who heard the words of the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the people of Manasseh spoke. It was good in their eyes, and finest the son of Eleazar the priest said to the people of Reuben, the people of Gad and the people of Manasseh, today we know that the Lord is in our midst, because you have not committed the speech of faith against the Lord. Now you have to let the people of Israel from the hands of the Lord. Then finds the son of Eleazar the priest, and the chiefs returned from the people of Reuben and the people of Gad, and the land of Gilead to the land of Canaan, to the people of Israel, and brought back word to it. And their report was given in the eyes of the people of Israel, and the people of Israel blessed God, and spake no more of making war against him, to destroy the land. And the people of Reuben and the people of Gad was up. The people of Reuben and the people of Gad called the altar witness, for all they said it is a witness between us that the Lord is God. A long time afterward, when the Lord had given rest to Israel from all the surrounding enemies, and Joshua was old and well advanced in years, Joshua summoned all Israel, its elders and its heads, its judges and officers, and said to him, I am now old and well advanced in years, and you have seen all that the Lord your God has done to all these nations for your sake. Whereas the Lord your God has fought for you. Behold, I have allotted to you as an inheritance for your tribes those nations that remain, along with all the nations that I have already cut off, from the Jordan to the great sea in the west. The Lord your God will push them back before you, and drive them out of your sight. And you shall possess their land, just as the Lord your God promised you. Therefore be very strong to keep and do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses. Do not aside from it, neither to the right nor to the left, that you may not mix with those nations remaining among you, or make mention of the names of their gods, or swear by them, or serve them, or bow down to them. But you shall cling to the Lord your God, just as you have done to this day. For the Lord has driven out before you great and strong nations. As for you, no man has been able to stand before you to this day. One man of you puts to flight 5,000. Since this is the Lord your God who fights for you, just as he promised you. Be very careful, therefore, to love the Lord your God. If you turn back by cling to the remnant of these nations, remaining among you, and make marriages with them, so that you associate with them, and they with you, know for certain that the Lord your God will no longer drive out these nations before you, that they shall be a snare and trap for you, a rope on your side and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good ground that the Lord your God has given you. And now I am about to go the way of all the earth, and learn all in your hearts and souls, all of you, that not one word is failed of all the good things that the Lord your God promised concerning you. And all that have come to pass for you, not one of them has failed. But just as all the good things that the Lord your God promised concerning you have been fulfilled for you, so that the Lord will bring upon you all the evil things until he's destroyed you from off this good land that the Lord your God has given you. And if you transgress the covenant of the Lord your God which he commanded you, and go and serve other gods and bow down to them, and the anger of the Lord will be kindled against you, and you shall perish quickly from off of the good land that he has given to you. Proverbs 15. The soft answer tends to be wrath, but a harsh word doesn't anger. The tongue of the wise commands knowledge, but the mouth of fools pours out folly. The eye of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. The gentle tongue is tree of life, but perverseness and it breaks his spirit. The fool deserves his father's instruction, but whoever hates will prove his prayer. In the house of righteous there is much treasure, but trouble before the income to life. And the lips of the wise spread knowledge, not so the hearts of fools. Sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright isn't acceptable to him. Where the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but he loves him who pursues righteousness. There is severe discipline for he who forsakes the way. Whoever hates reproof will die. So on the van lie open before the Lord, how much more like the hearts of the children of men. The scoffer does not like to be reproved, he will not go to a way. The glad heart makes a cheerful face, but by sorrow of heart the spirit is crushed. And the heart of him who is understanding seeks knowledge, and the mouth of fools fear folly. All the days of the earth will find out. Those cheerful of heart has a continual feast. There is a low with the fear of the Lord. With the fear of the Lord, then great treasure and trouble. The better is a din of hers with lovers than a fattened ox and hatred with a hot tempered man satisfied. He who is slow to anger quiets contention. The way of a sluggard is like a hedge of them. The constant of rises love for highway, and why so much glad for the good fortune man desires his mother. Others enjoy him in excellence, and a man of understanding walks straight ahead. Though counsel plans fail, but with many advices they succeed. Making an abstinence is a joy to him, and the word is see how good it is. The path of life leads upwards and between. And they may turn away from short beneath. The Lord takes down the house of the proud, and maintains the wicked bounty. Thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord. The gracious words of people. Whoever is greedy for understanding troubles his own hand. But he hates brass with and the hand of the righteous and ponders how to answer. But the mouth of the wicked holds out evil things. And lives far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. And the light of the eyes rejoices the heart, but the face of the mouth. The ear that listens to life-giving reproof will draw among the wise. Whoever ignores instruction despises himself. And he listens to reproof gains intelligence. And fears the Lord is instruction and wisdom, but he merely comes before honor. Psalm 142. With my voice I cry out to the Lord. With my voice I plead for mercy to the Lord. I pour my complaint before him. I tell my trouble before him. When my spirit faints within me. You know my way. In the pathway I walk, he is hidden a trap for me. Look to the right and see. There is no one who takes notice of me. No refuge remains to me. No one cares for my soul. I cry to you, Lord. I say, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Attend to my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, for they are too strong for me. Bring me out of prison, that I may give thanks to you. The righteous will surrender, for you will deal banner for me with me. Now that it's done, I should now do the Lord prayer. Raise my head to Father in heaven. Hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done, like as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. We give us our debtors, as you have forgiven our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.